Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you a really easy way to do professional looking flat lay photography. We're going to use very little equipment as well. We're going to use a window, a cheap second-hand camera and a piece of polystyrene. Let's go. So firstly, let's quickly explain what flat lay photography is. It's a picture from directly above looking at products or food, and it's popular on social media. It's great for businesses. You know, you can show off your products, show off your food or whatever you're doing, and it gives you an opportunity to put really cool graphics over the top. So the first thing that you need, obviously, is things to photograph, but more importantly, you need a theme or a feeling that you want to achieve. And what I mean by that is, do you want it to be bright and fresh? You know, is it food that you want to photograph? Or is it dark and moody? Is it some kind of product that you want to take seriously, you know? So it's not only thinking about what you want to photograph, it's also about thinking about the mood that you want to give that photograph, all right? That is really, really important. So we are a photographic training company. Obviously, we teach people all over the world photography. So our theme is going to be photography, and in particular, vintage cameras. We're going to go for a vintage look, and we're going to use some of my old vintage cameras that I've collected over the years, like this really cool Olympus Trip here. So you have got your theme, you have got the products, you've got the look that you want to go for. In our case, obviously that old vintage look. That will then dictate what background you need to use, all right? Loads of backgrounds out there. You can use a table if it suits, you can use a piece of wood, you can get vinyl backgrounds if you want to, or you can get backgrounds like this that are specifically made for flat lay and product photography. This one comes from replicasurfaces.com, and replicasurfaces.com are actually sponsoring this video, so we thank you for sponsoring this video. And if you want to check out their products, there is a link in the description of this video, and you can go straight to their website and buy their stuff. They've got a whole range of different backgrounds for you to choose from for this type of stuff. For this particular shoot, we are going for this one here, which is called Weathered Wood, and it's like, well, a dark weathered wood look, and it will really suit these kind of old vintage cameras. Now, with all photography, you need light, and with flat lay photography, it's no different. The more light you've got, the better. We are going to use a big window, so all you need to do is find a window first of all, the bigger the better obviously, and get a table, put it up to the window, put your surface down, whatever it is that you're going to use, and that is the main light source of your shot, a big window. Now we are lucky today because it's cloudy, right? We've got a cloudy day, and cloudy days produce soft light. Ideally, you want soft light for this type of shot. You don't have to have it, but it normally works best if you've got soft light. If you've got bright sun, which is giving you strong shadows, it's really simple to turn that into soft light. All you need is some net curtains or chiffon fabric, or something like this, which is I paid £8 for in Argos. And all you do is you tape it to the window like that. The light will then shine through it, but it will be diffuse light, and diffuse light is soft. So if you've got a sunny, harsh light day and you don't want that type of light, a nice bit of chiffon fabric or net curtain taped up against the window is going to give you the soft light that you need. Really is as simple as that. The next thing that you need to do is just have a little look and a little test, you know? So let's grab an object. Let's grab this lovely twin lens reflex that I collected a couple of years ago. I'm going to put it in the middle of my background here like that, and quite simply just look at the light. So the light coming in from this side is lovely and soft, and I've got a shadow coming over this side as you would expect. And you know, that looks all right. But if you don't want them shadows, it's really easy to get rid of them. You just use a reflector. So let's have a look at what we're going to use for a reflector. So here I have a piece of polystyrene. It's as simple as that, right? So you can get a piece of polystyrene from, you know, your packaging, or if you want to, you can buy these from building merchants actually in big sheets. Very cheap, very versatile, and it bounces back into the shot white, soft light, okay? You can even use a piece of white card actually. It doesn't need to be polystyrene, it just needs to be white. Also, I've got this here, which is a silver reflector, all right? Now these are about 20 quid off of Amazon, you know. It's also got gold on the back as well if you want to reflect gold light back in. But a silver reflector will be more intense and it reflects back, well, more intense light, it's more brighter. If you don't want to buy one of these, all you do is you get some tin foil and you wrap it around a piece of cardboard or whatever, and then you've got a silver reflector as well. So for very, very little cost, you can have really effective reflectors reflecting light back in. Let's have a look at the effect of these lights, because this is what this test is for. Because depending on your theme and your style, white light might suit it, silver light might suit it, or even gold. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to just test this lighting situation on this one object first, okay? So let's have a look. So firstly, let's try with the white reflector, okay? Let's put this in and let's see how it looks. So that's in with the white reflector, and that's without the white reflector. With the reflector and without it, and actually that really does a good job, as a matter of fact. I mean, you could have it with just the shadows. It's entirely up to you. You know, the shadows looks good as well, but I think for me, I'm going to put a reflector in, possibly the white one. That looks quite cool. Let's have a look at the difference now with the silver one. Okay, so here is the silver one here. Oh, now that is much more intense, like we spoke about before. I quite like that as well, as a matter of fact. So what I might actually do is do the shot with the white reflector and then just quickly have a look and see how it will look with the silver as well, because it won't take 5 minutes, okay? So there we go. Now we know what we're going to do. We've set up the shot and it's quite simple, as you can see. We are near a window, we've got a piece of polystyrene, we've got our background. Let's set the shot up. Now this part is the key to your whole picture. It's the composition of it, you know? So with all photography, composition is really, really important. If you want to know more in depth about what composition is, come over and see us at theschoolofphotography.com, where we teach you it in depth, all right? But in a nutshell, it is how you place your objects, in our case, within your frame. And when it comes to flat lay photography, the one thing to keep in mind is balance. And what I mean by that is, if you've got a big camera like this, or twin lens, it's called a twin lens reflex camera. If you've got a twin lens over in one corner like that, then you can quite easily balance it out with another twin lens, this one here, over here like that. It's creating a balance in your shot. Think of it like a set of scales. If I put it there, it's not really balancing out the shot as well as if I put it there. And another example is if I get a couple of small cameras like these here. If I put one of them in that corner like that, I'd get another one and I'd put it in this corner over here like that. And as you can see already, even just now like this, I've got a balanced composition. So when it comes to flat lay photography, think about balance. And that can be via objects, it can be via colours as well. For instance, you can have a bit of red over one side and a bit of red over down in the other side. You know, you need to look and be creative. It's not an exact science as well, so don't think of it like an exact science, but try to balance out the objects within your scene. So now all I need to do is set out my scene, if you like, or my flat lay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start arranging all of my lovely vintage cameras here so that we've got a really nice composition. Okay, we have set up for the shot now, and I've set up a square format. You know, that typical Instagram flat lay shot. Here it is, and that's how we've set it up. You need to remember what format you want your picture to be in. So if you want a 16:9 format, that's your typical TV screen, then obviously you're going to need to set it up for that. Plus, if you want any graphics in your image, you need to set it up for that and leave a space for the graphics to go into. The next thing I want to do is put my reflector in. Okay, so here it is. Here's my white reflector, and quite simply, I'm going to plonk it in here like that. And there you go. It's going to bounce some light back in to this area on the left, on my left here. So that fills in the shadows there, which is really nice. And the next thing is, of course, to take the picture. So let's talk about cameras. Well, if you want it to be as simple as possible, you can quite simply use a smartphone. It's as easy as that. They've got some really good cameras on them at the minute. So let's do that one. Let's do a really quick and simple phone picture. Before you take the shot, you need to make sure that you are as flat to the flat lay as possible. Now what I mean by that is that your camera's not tilted. It's not tilted like this. It will obscure the objects within your shot. So the easiest way to stop that from happening is match up the lines on the edge. So the lines on the edge of your background to the lines on the edge of your screen here. Get them parallel, get them straight, and then you should have a really good shot. So let's just make sure that's in focus and take the shot. Very good. That is a nice, easy shot with a mobile phone. Window, polystyrene, background objects, snap. You've got yourself a decent flat lay photograph, all right? So there you go. It's as easy as that. If you want it to be, you can just take the picture with a mobile phone. But I would recommend that you do it with a DSLR camera like this here. Now these cost £100. It's a second-hand camera. Get them off of eBay, whatever. You don't have to spend an absolute fortune. But the benefits of a DSLR camera is that you can control the focal length of it, which I'll come to in a minute, and you can control the shutter speed of it, because mobile phones, as good as they are, you can get camera shake with them, which will make the flat lay look a little bit blurry. And also you can get higher what's called noise, and you don't want them things, all right? So you can do it with a phone, but if you want a better quality, particularly if it's for websites and things like that, I would recommend you use a DSLR camera. So with a DSLR camera, like I said, you can control the focal length. Now, I can teach you all about focal lengths if you really want to know about them in depth. schoolofphotography.com, come and check out our complete guide to photography course. But just to put it in a nutshell, it's your field of view. It's how far zoomed in or zoomed out you are. And there's a really important focal length that you need to use for flat lay photography, and that is an as your eye sees focal length. What that means is there's no obscurity. So when you take a picture at a wide angle, you stretch the scene out. When you take a picture zoomed in, you compress the scene, you squash it, and there is a focal length in between that is exactly as your eye sees, and that gives you no distortion, and it makes flat lay photography, well, look perfect. For most common DSLR cameras, between 30 and 35mm will do you fine. The next setting that you need to know about is the one that's going to avoid camera shake. All right, so I'm going to make this really, really easy for you. If you get yourself a DSLR camera, set it to either TV or S, and that's on this dial at the top here. That is called shutter speed priority, and then you set the shutter speed to 1/125th of a second, and you do that quite simply by turning the dial on your DSLR camera. And the other setting that you need to know about is your ISO. Just put your ISO on auto, and like I've said before in this video, the more light the better. All right, and lastly, the camera should already be set to this anyway, but if it isn't, make sure that your DSLR camera is set to large JPEG, and what that means is the maximum resolution. If you actually know what you're doing, you can put it onto RAW and post-process it later. Okay, now let's get the white reflector in again, and let's take the shot with the DSLR camera. Now, because the focal length is different to the mobile phone normally shoots at a wide angle, so we're zooming in a bit, which means that we need to go higher, which means that you need a step ladder or a chair. We're going to use a step ladder because we want to be safe. I'm just going to grab that. Right, so I'm on a step ladder. I've got all my cameras set to what I've told you to, and again, I am going to view the picture like you would on a mobile phone via live screen. I'm going to make sure that it's not obscured. Let's get this reflector right in here like that. Here we go. And frame up nicely and take the shot. And there you go. That's the difference doing it with a DSLR camera. In all fairness, if it's just for like Instagram and that, you probably ain't going to notice much difference. But if it's for websites and a bit more professional stuff, I would definitely recommend doing it with a DSLR camera. I'm going to take the same shot again with the silver reflector, okay? Because I just want to see how it's going to look. Right, silver reflectors in, and you can physically see the difference that it is making, which is great. Make sure that you are as straight above it as possible, you know, so that you're parallel to the flat lay. And it's a bit fiddly. If you've got someone to help you, it might help, but let's take the shot. Okay, cool, that's with the silver reflector. I quite like it, as a matter of fact, because it reflects off of the silver off the cameras really well. So there's some versions there, one with the mobile phone and one with the DSLR camera, some with the white reflector, some with the silver reflector. Now, all that's left to do is your post-processing, and that could be as simple as cropping it to how you want it to be and adding some filters on. You can do that in phone apps, you can do it on the PC or whatever, or you can do it more professionally in a program like Lightroom, which is what I have done with these shots. I've actually added my vintage Lightroom preset, which is absolutely free. You can go and grab that together with another 15 free presets that I've made for you. There will be a link in the description of this video. You can click on that link, you can download my Lightroom presets for free, and then all you do is click a button on Lightroom and it will turn it into vintage or fresh or whatever you want it to be. All of the information that I've told you in this video, there is a link in the description. Click on it, it will take you to a page and it will list out all of the way that we've took this shot, you know, from lighting to cameras to settings and all of that. So you can go and just look at it all on that web page. Okay, now you need to help us out, all right? If you've liked this video, like it, give us a comment, subscribe to our channel, engage with this video, because if you engage with this video, it pushes it up through the YouTube ranks and it enables us to bring you more videos, okay? So please help us out by doing all of them things. Thanks to replicasurfaces.com for sending us these brilliant surfaces to do our flat lay photography on. I hope this video has helped you out, and I hope to see you in the next video. And remember, learn more at the School of Photography.